Hi, hello, and welcome in Venice.
Thank you so much. Stars Akshay Kumar and it has Chandrachur Singh and Rakul Preet and Sarwar, and obviously I'm a very important part of that film. That film is a thriller and it's been released on the OTT platforms. The business of cinema has changed. They've, in fact, after COVID, we've had difficult times releasing films in theatres. So we started looking at the OTT platform.
2 मर्डर्स हो चुके हैं. Even as we talk, वो एक कूलिंग ऑफ पीरियड में तीसरी की तैयारी कर रहा है.
And it was looked at in a very different perspective because when you know that it's a difficulty to bring people to the cinema for a while at least, I'm sure it will change. We've directly put it on the platform. There are people who are watching it, and like I said, times have changed.
We are dealing with the potential serial killer in Kasoli.
We just got out of COVID in India, and then we had a lockdown, and then we started shooting the film. A bit of it was shot in London, a bit of it. I was in Geneva, in fact, living there, and then they called me, and I'd worked with this producer before, Vashu Dugnani, so they offered me this role. It was a very different role, but I agreed to play, Akshay Kumar's sister because it was a film about, characters. It was not a film where you're looking at who's going to be, and I think that's the way the film looks. It looks like a film which has content. We are now focusing very, very specifically on content. Nobody wants to watch anything which cannot make sense. And the world knows Bollywood and Hindi films or Indian films in a very different manner. Besides being entertaining and colorful, I think the whole perspective has changed. I think we really focus on content now, and that's what we're trying to put out. We've evolved. We all evolve. As a country, as a nation, as a fraternity, as an industry, you always see progress. Technology progresses, cinema progresses. And I think it's time that it did. It's, taken a while. Even if you look at English films, they've had a certain phase and now they're in a different phase. There was a time when the English movies and the content was very different. Now they look at many, many aspects. There was something called parallel cinema earlier in India, and it was not commercial cinema. So those were the terms that we used. And then there was something called Bollywood, and then you had only Bollywood. And then you had, they called it regional cinema. None of that exists because cinema is cinema. And I think that is the reason why a language cannot bar a film. Today, if I watch my favorite actor, Charles Chaplin, if I watch him, I enjoy him more than any other cinema. I mean, he didn't need to speak, right? So I think we've evolved, and India is going to be one of the growing nations. Hopefully 21% annually we're looking at a growth on, especially with the OTTs coming in. Hopefully by 2024 we should be a 2 billion exactly business. But so I think that's the reason why I said that it doesn't mean Bollywood anymore. It means Indian cinema. The reason that I'm here is I'm part of the Indian delegation.
At the Venice Film Festival, we are having a session on Focus India.
I've also been invited by the Venice Film Festival and Roberto Stabile, who is advisor to the Ministry of Culture, and they had invited me to the India and Italy Pavilion. So it's an honor for me to be from both the countries and be a representative and speak about building a common audience. Also, the reason why I come as a delegate from India is I'm actually a film actor. I've done a lot of films in Bollywood and Indian cinema, I would call it. Over the last 20 years, I must have done quite a few films, and and a lot of work. Besides, not too much of television. So when I got this opportunity, I got the opportunity to be on the International Film Festival of India for, that's the festival that we do at Goa every year. I've already been a part of it. In 2017, I was in the preview committee. 2018, I was in the steering committee. And now in 2022, again, I'm on the steering committee. So the reason for me to be here is to represent and, kind of build our tie-ups with the Venice and IFFI and get people on board. I've been appointed to look into international, films and relations and the countries of participation, the kind of international celebrities that we may bring on board. The main purpose of the International Film Festival is to build a bridge and build a common audience, and that's why we began with Italy. Today we discussed how India and Italy can start this conversation and take it forward, and we shall do that with many more countries. I think that's what cinema is all about, and it's just the audiovisual medium, the most beautiful medium, and I think it's going to be a great start.
Cinema is popularly described as a mirror of a country's culture.
India is a storytelling nation. You see, for the past many years, there's through pictures, through your paintings, through your books, and same with Italy, because it has its museum, the music, and the food and the emotions are quite similar actually. So when you talk about India and Italy, there are too many similarities. I did a lot of films when I began in my career. There was a great time when I did, I think 12, 15 years I was doing films in other languages, and I was doing Hindi cinema. And then the last 5-6 years I've been married, and I did some film. It didn't stop anything. I still continued to work. I took to my dance. I still dance. I'm a classical dancer. I'm a trained classical dancer in Kathak since childhood. So I took to stage. I did some shows. You see, I feel as an actor and as a person, you have to grow. You cannot stagnate. There's always a time when you grow and evolve. To be a part of committee work makes me happy. This is something I'll do out of joy. I don't, have to. I like doing this. I like meeting people. I like, trying to create something which has given me so much. And the movies that I probably selected after the last 2 years, we had a bad situation. COVID was really something that affected everybody, business-wise, health-wise, everything. But I also did some, the web series are very popular now in India.
And I think you were hesitating doing them, right?
Yeah.
So what was your...
I even picked, but then I did get offered 2 really nice ones, and I did do them. And I normally don't do a lot of television. The kind of work I watched was more on Netflix and maybe on Amazon once they started coming into the country. But it didn't mean cinema, and I still love cinema. Like if I had my way, I'd be in a theatre watching cinema, being a part of cinema. I cannot be doing content. For me as an actor on the phone, if I have to create content, I can create it. But being a part of that, I don't know, it never satisfied me. I want an audience. I want a lot of people watching me, and I can be very selfish about that.